What's this on the side here?
What's what?
The black box thing.
This?
Yeah.
That's the horn.
Horn?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a, hang on. Yeah. It's a bad boy.
Little.
So good day, guys. It's me again. I'm back on the Road King. You're going to have to excuse the amount of traffic. It's a Friday and the world's gone crazy. So apologies for the view of the rear end of a lot of cars, but what can I do? Firstly, I'm just going to say before I get started, I think I'm going to find it quite strange getting back on the street bob actually after so much time on this thing. I think I'm going to find it very, very light. And the power is going to be a bit more, but the maneuverability as well, I don't know, I think it's going to be a strange one, but you know, it's all fun and games, but I am going to miss this bike, I must say. I think if I had the money I'd probably get one of these. It's I keep saying it, I know, but it is such a bloody brilliant bike, and for long distance it is perfect. But anyway, I digress. Let's crack on with it. Topic for me today is about motovlogging and how I got into it and how difficult it actually is, and sort of almost the pros and cons of being a motovlogger. You know, I'll start with a bit of history if you like. Started off, wanted to ride a Harley, always wanted a Harley, and I got to an age where I could financially afford one, and I had the time to learn how to ride a bike properly and get one. And you know, I did a lot of research, as you do mostly on YouTube, looking at the iron mainly, because I didn't want anything too big and I didn't want anything too expensive, so the iron was an obvious choice for me. And yeah, I saw Blockhead and Moto Noob Rider and saw what they were doing and thought, well, they're doing a fantastic job. I reckon I could give that a go. And you know, when I pass my test, I'll get the right gear and off we go. But so that's what I did. You know, I passed my test. I got all the gear. I got the camera, the mic, the preamp for the GoPro, and yeah, went out on a ride. And I can't tell you how difficult, when you first start, how difficult it is to actually talk to yourself and ride a bike. You know, you've got to be concentrating the whole time, and at the same time thinking about what you're saying and making sure the content that you're saying is okay. And anyway, I got home and checked out the footage, and I was talking rubbish, had no clue, with lots of pauses. You know, I was more worried about the bike than what I was saying, and the sound quality was absolute gash. I mean, it was terrible. And so I thought, okay, this is going to be a bit more difficult than I first anticipated. So I went out and I got a slightly more expensive microphone, and the same thing, it's clipping all the time, and you know, it was no fun. And so then I moved on to a dictaphone, which was a lot better, but then I found that I had to, you know, edit all the audio files had to be edited and then linked up with the video, you know, and it was an absolute pain in the ass. So I've gone back to the preamp on the GoPro, which is stuck to the side of the helmet. It's a lot easier anyway. You know, you take your helmet off and away you go. There's no cables hanging out of you, and you know, all that sort of shazazz. But I found mic placement was critical. I tried it by my cheek, tried it, you know, in the actual case of the helmet, and it was terrible. And I'm still not happy with the audio, if I'm honest. I don't understand how these professionals, how these big boys get it sounding so clear, even at like high speeds, without it clipping or hearing tons and tons of helmet noise. The wind noise isn't too bad, but the actual noise of the helmet I find is really annoys me. And with a audio background, sound engineer background, that sort of thing really bugs me. But yeah, it is such a hard thing to do, and I never thought it would be. You know, just getting on a bike and talking I thought would be really easy, but there's so much more to it than just getting on a bike and talking. You know, thinking about what you're going to talk about. I mean, content is so important, and yeah, I mean, I've been lucky that I've had quite a few videos on sort of reviewing things and all that sort of stuff, but obviously that's going to end soon, and I have to think about different things to talk about to keep you guys entertained. And you know, the cost of doing it as well, it's not cheap to get that set up, you know, get the helmet all set up with the camera and everything else. I mean, the amount of mics I've gone through is you know, I've probably gone through about 5 or 6 mics, and I've only been going, what, 2 months now. They just keep breaking, or just get fed up with the noise, and I try something different. And yeah, I never thought it would be as difficult as it actually is. And you never know how anyone's going to take what you're saying. You know, is my voice annoying? I mean, I think my voice sounds absolutely terrible, but it's just what, you know, you're used to your own sound in your head. But I'm kind of getting over that a little bit now. But you know, you don't know how people are going to take you, and is your content any good? Are people gonna like me, or you know, like what I'm doing? And so far so good. I mean, you know, I'm not expecting to be a big boy famous lemon motor vlogger like say Blockhead and Bike and Bird and all that. You know, they got so many subscribers, it's unbelievable. I don't intend it to go that far. If it does, and so be it. But you know, it's just, you've got to be on it all the time, and you've got to have good content, which those guys do, and they are really good at talking to the camera, or talking into the camera I should say. You know, I mean, they make it sound so easy, the way that they just sort of, it just comes off the tongue, and every word that they're saying is informative to a degree, you know. And that's something that I guess you get with time and everything else. But yeah, it is a funny thing. Like, I mean, again, you think you're gonna just upload your videos and everyone's gonna see it, and they don't. YouTube makes it so hard for anyone to actually view your content. They're so fixed on the people with tons of already got tons of subscribers and views on their view time on their channel, that us sort of noobs, if you like, we don't really get a look in, and it's almost, you know, the bigger fish get all the food and the little ones don't get anything. And it's very hard to try and find a way in to the sort of the viewer market, if you like. And that's another thing, video quality. It's all about quality on YouTube now. Everyone's running on 4K or 1080, and you know, again, the big boys, the ones with all the subscribers, they seem to have these crystal clear images throughout their channel, all their videos. And man, I would spend hours trying to figure out what was going on. You know, was it my camera? I tried different frame rates, different you know, quality of the video, 1080, 4K, 2.4 and all that. And you know, I get the video edited, play it on my computer off the hard drive, and it's perfect. Put it on YouTube, pixelated, it just can't keep up with the speed of the road. That again, shimmering, it really bugged me. And it turns out that it's mainly to do with YouTube. and how they prioritize their codec, their VP3 codec to the sort of, you know, bigger sort of channels, which I didn't really understand. I think you got to get something like 6,000 views or something like that to get that kind of crystal clear codec that they allow for those sort of videos. And this is all sort of a learning curve for me, and really the main reason for me starting this was to share my experience as a Harley rider, as a new rider, and as a Harley rider, and as just a rider in general. And because there's not a lot of content at the moment for people with you know, 2008 street bobs. There's just not a lot out there. There's people sort of showing off their bikes and all that, but there's no real content, like where do you get the gear from, what is it like to really ride from an owner's point of view, you know. And that's why I started the channel. You know, I was kind of hooked on getting a Sportster and then went for the street bob, and I wanted people to know that you don't have to have a small bike to be a beginner, you know, to start with, as long as you know what you're doing. I mean, I wouldn't recommend this bike for a beginner, no way. It is too heavy, and you know, you gotta be confident on these sort of bikes. But it was really just about helping people out, and it still is, and that's why I've done the channel, and I'm hoping that it's coming across that way, and I'm actually feeding people enough information that they understand more about the bike and what they can achieve and what they can expect from it, you know. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there, guys, because the traffic is terrible and you don't really want to be looking at the ass end of a car all video. But I hope you found it interesting, and again, I just wanted people to know the trials and tribulations of being a motovlogger. And you know, if you are going to start it out on your own, you know, there's a lot to take into consideration, and you know, don't be disheartened by nobody liking your videos and all the rest of it. That will come, but you just got to get that content good, you know. And don't worry about the video quality, again, that will come. Sound quality, you just got to get out on your bike and ride and do sound tests. Today's a sound test and trying out a new mic position, seeing what that sounds like. But as always, guys, I will see you next time. Please like and subscribe and leave your comments below. Love to hear back from you guys, love chatting to you and being part of the community, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.